Yo, my name's Ian, aka Junk, rapper, artist, co-founder of Household. Art is everything to me in my life. You know, I grew up with parents that were into the arts. My father is a musician. His father was a musician. His great-grandfather was a musician, all the way down to basically trace down the lineage to us performing for queens and kings and barons and courts 600-700 years ago. That's why I got the jester tattooed on me, because that's literally my family lineage, you know? And one thing about jesters is they make other people happy, and they use their talents and their entertaining skills to make other people happy and entertain. But sometimes we forget to find happiness in our own lives, and me particularly, and my father, we get into these crazy states of self-inflicted solitude where the only way out is to entertain other people and get enjoyment seeing other people get some kind of feeling out of what you're offering them, whatever means of craft. Mine is rapping, is entertaining people live, or just writing songs. You know, it's therapeutic for me. I think this solitude and, you know, the state of almost constant depression that I was in came from just being separated, you know, from my father at an early age. Born in Germany, Frankfurt, moved to Italy. My father was a musician. My mom was, you know, she's German, Italian. My father is Italian. Still lives in Italy to this day, but we went there for him to pursue his music career. And my mom's kind of left early because my pops just wasn't fit to be the father that she deemed I needed. So she made the decision to move back to Germany. We went to Berlin, and now she's a single mom just with, you know, me around, and that's it. You know, her only child at that time. And we were living in Berlin right after the Berlin Wall came down. Crazy, charged energy of a time in that city. And I literally grew up, you know, watching neo-Nazis and anarchists, and my mom was on the side of the anarchists clashing in the streets, and I'd watch this from the top floor of my apartment building. You know, I really seen dudes come up to us like with their eyes hanging out of their head, and holding it in their hands. My mom would help them, and you know, my mom would throw Molotov cocktails at these neo-Nazis, anti-establishment people over here, and that's where we were at. And then it was these neo-Nazis, you know, like fascist kind of people clashing. I, as a young person, seeing that, it kind of developed my brain in a different way, just almost growing up in a war zone, polarity and segregation, and just seeing things from a whole different perspective. So I think that fueled a lot of my artistic endeavors, and just way of expressing myself is deeper than most, I should say. I think just because I was privy to seeing some really wild shit, you know? So I think most artists unwillingly get to go through some crazy turmoil, see some crazy shit, and then they put that into their art forever. You know, it's embedded in their soul and in their humanity. And I was getting beat up by people going to school with belt buckles and fighting on my way to school, like packing knives as a 6-year-old, like just to protect myself. It was crazy. Ended up moving to Canada, to the middle of the woods in Boswell, British Columbia, living in a trailer with my mom. Didn't know any English, only spoke German and Italian. I had to go to school, and then people were bullying me and picking on me because, of course, I was looking different. I had Motorhead t-shirts on and wristbands and just dressing differently than people do in a small little rural area. But yeah, I was teased and bullied a lot, you know, because I couldn't speak. Kids are rough. So man, I felt this like animosity towards me, but seeing so much adversity and turmoil in my life already, and this, you know, not having my pops around and all the shit I've seen as an early kid, it just pushed me to want to excel. And I was like, oh yeah, you want to tease me and bully me? I'm gonna learn this language, and I'm gonna master it, and I'm gonna use it to my advantage, and it's gonna become my weapon. And I did that, and I went to after-hour school classes and learned English and just studied harder and harder, and started listening to hip-hop music and rap music, and I was learning the lyrics and what they meant and all that. And then I felt like I could start penning my own lyrics. I've been writing rap since I was 10 or 11. Next thing you know, I started getting really good at English and fluent, and people started respecting me more, and having the ability to speak and use prose as a weapon really weaponized me for the future to become this MC and this artist that I am now to this day. And I love it so much because it's like my superpower. You know, it turned me into a superhero. That's my journey. My whole ethos is just use being at your rock bottom or whatever, you know, traumatized you early on or later on, using that as your fuel, as your special weapon, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm here to teach, hopefully inspire others to do, is just like, wow, this guy literally put his head down, mastered a craft, and has been able to take on any challenges in his life coming ever since then, just with this craft, you know what I mean? I think if there's anything I want to say is just, if you love something enough, put everything you have into it and use it as your weapon that, will help you fight any situation in life, man. And I hope that's the legacy that I'll leave behind. I could sum it up in a few words. It's that art can be a weapon, and if you use it wisely, it can also be a tool of inspiration.